Hello, so this is Hearts of Wulin Green Mountain. This is Gauntlet Con 2018, so we're here on what is, for me, a Saturday morning here. For other people, not so much. If you're curious about this, you can check out what Gauntlet Con is at gauntlet-rpg.com. Gauntlet Con may be over by the time you see this, but we'll have another one next year, so you can check that out. I'm Lowell, so there we go. Let me tell you what we're playing. So we're playing Hearts of Wulin, which is a PbtA hack, emulating multiple sources that attempts to emulate a particular set of Chinese wushu Wulin dramas. Now, my touchstone I often mention is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That has all that wonderful melodrama and action, but really a lot of this is taken from Chinese sort of serial soap operas that are in fact based on older Chinese wuxia novels. This is third hand. Maybe even fourth hand here. So this is a game based on PbtA, based on melodrama series that are based on books that are based on sort of historical ideas. It is a fictional China. I just want to make that absolutely clear. This is an emulation of that. It's an emulation more of a TV series and those ideas than it is of any kind of realistic China. But with that in mind, we want to make sure to be respectful of the culture, and be respectful of the sources here. And that's part of my goal here as we play this is I'm trying to showcase my love for these things. Related to that, this is part of the Gauntlet Hangout sort of series of games in general. We always use safety tools. So we use, for this game, the most basic safety tool is the X card. And I know everyone here is familiar with that. But if you're watching at home and see anybody do this, or if you hear us mention the X card because somebody has X carded something in the chat, that means that we've hit something that somebody finds problematic, triggers a phobia. They find it off tone. There are a lot of reasons why the X card can be used. We edit past. I may ask for exactly to delineate that, but we do that to kind of move on. When you're playing with strangers online, you want some kind of safety net in case you hit horrible things. So we have that in our game here. So what we're going to be doing today is you will see us take about the first hour to do character creation, and then we'll take a break, and then we're going to play. We're going to take a second break because I'm going to have a sandwich at that point. And we're going to wrap up about 15 minutes before the hour. I like to end a little early. If you have another game to go to, I want to give people room to be able to do that. So know that my goal is ending at a quarter till, and that I keep an eye on the time. When we get to that last, say, half hour of the game, you may see me hard frame things a little tighter. You guys may be in a perfect position, but it may see me kind of push things to get people together to get to some kind of end point. So I'll try and keep you apprised of that if I'm noticing that I kind of need to do that. Also, so this is a hack, and this is a game that is in development, and Stephen will actually notice a few minor changes because he's played this a couple times before, just little tweaks. So this is play, but it's not a play test. So we're not going to debrief at the end. We're not going to stop to do feedback during play because I want us to have a good session. If you do have feedback, things you want to suggest, things you've noticed, feel free to reach out to me after the game. I will appreciate that. But here we're playing a game, and we're going to play it like it is done. This is a game that has a number of genre conventions that I sent a sheet, but I want to reiterate a few of them to keep in mind. It is melodrama, so drama is heightened. Be obvious. Lean into the heartache. It is a game where people are sincere. They believe other people. If a person wears a disguise, nobody can see through it. And if something is written down, obviously must be true. People take people at their word at first. It is also a genre where people talk about matters of the heart obliquely. They talk about them at an angle. When in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, we see the two main characters that clearly love each other, but they can't express it directly. They talk around it. They talk about the third person in the relationship, the dead friend / lover. So that is a thing that you have to keep in mind as you're dealing with the sort of social interactions. Also, this is a game where you get to describe how awesome you are. And you are awesome. All of you are awesome Wulin Wushu characters who can light foot across rooftops, who can do amazing stunts with your sword fighting style. So when I give you the chance to describe how you beat a foe, feel free to lean into that. It is a game where people have heightened abilities. They can do wondrous things like in the movies. It is not a game where we have like wizards or nine-tailed foxes or sort of full supernatural thing. People believe in that stuff, but it's not real and present in the game that we are playing. All right, now I have talked for, not all that long. That was pretty good. I got that down. Let me give my last caution. I am from Indiana, and I talk fast. So you get the combination of a Hoosier accent, is what it's called, and my talking really fast sometimes. If at some point you can't understand what I'm saying, just stop me and have me repeat myself. And we'll go back, and there's no problem with that. So when Mikkel comes back, we're going to go over to the character creation spreadsheet here. Everybody should have access to that. And once he gets back, I'm going to walk through what it is that we're going to be doing. But you can see I've got a tab on there, CC1 Basics, that kind of shows you the steps that we're going to be walking through for character creation. If you want to take a look at that and kind of get started, you're welcome to. We're going to be going up to step 4, and you can do that in any order you want. Once we get done with step 4, then we'll do introductions and entanglements. We'll get that all set. And so if you guys want to go ahead and look at those, make some choices, and think about that. We can do that when Mikkel comes back. We'll see what playbooks people are gonna take. I just want to give him a minute or two on that. And while we're doing character creation, I will also go through a little bit of the rules mechanics. Anyone have a question on anything while we're holding off here for a sec? Okay. It's all super self-explanatory.
Actually, I do have a question.
Yes.
With the bonds and the relationships, we have
Yeah.
one general one and we have one romantic one.
Yes, the entanglements. Yeah.
Yes. Does the romantic one could it be something like a bond between brothers? It doesn't have to be a romantic bond.
No, it has to be a romantic bond.
Okay.
It can be unrequited, all those things, but everyone has someone or something that they love. I guess I should open up Discord in case Mikkel's having a problem. See. Okay. I'm going to give him just a couple minutes, and then we'll move to making picks so we can keep moving along. David, I don't think I've played with you before, have I?
We played that one off of Prism, but yeah,
that's right. Oh,
that's the
right.
only other time we have previously.
Okay. Yeah, I dug that game.
Yeah, it was really good fun. It was really good fun.
Mikkel, back?
Yeah, computer froze up, so I had to shut her down.
That absolutely understood there. Is it Mikkel? Michael? How am I pronouncing that?
It's Michael.
Michael. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to be going through the character creation process. That is, and I'll drop that link in the chat again for you. When you get into the sheet, we're going to be working through these steps on the CC Basics tab. We're going to be working through the first 4 steps in kind of whatever order you want to go in, and making those decisions, getting those things set. So let's start with this. Out of the gate, does anyone feel strongly about a particular playbook or playbooks?
I was thinking of the Wanderer.
Okay. So Stephen, Wanderer, is that okay with everybody else? Anyone was like that? Okay. Stephen, you're the Wanderer.
Mine's more an anti one. I think I'd probably like to avoid the loyal and the student, just because there's quite a lot of crossover with another character I'm playing in a game at the minute, so I'd like to do something a little different. But that's
okay.
That's fine. Would people be okay with me grabbing the loyal?
Hearing no objections, let's have you do the loyal. So, Michael, David?
In which case, if it's okay with you, Michael, I might go for the Bravo.
That leaves
the aware, the outsider, and the unorthodox.
Okay. Let me take aware.
Okay, awesome. So you can start working through the CC Basics. For each of those playbooks, you'll see that there are 3 roles. Like the aware has, you're either the master or the scholar or the sifu. You'll pick one of those roles that kind of defines a little bit of your identity. It gives you a move, and then you're going to choose 2 moves from the list that's down below. You can kind of start working through the list here. I want to just briefly touch on and talk about what the resolution system is in this and how the stats work. So you'll see that you have 5 chi that are listed on your character sheet. This is the PbtA style stats. It is much more like fate accelerated approaches. For most moves, when you go to roll, you choose what stat you want to roll with. You figure out what's appropriate, and each stat has some areas and some themes that are associated with it, but it's up to you to kind of define in the fiction what you're rolling with. The only restriction on that is that for fighting, you're going to choose one of those 5 elements to be your style element, and that's the element you're always going to roll with when you're engaged in combat. Now, the question is, why wouldn't you always roll with your best stats? That is because if you go to do something and you roll, like let's say you roll Earth, and let's say that you fail on that, then one of my hard moves as a GM can be to have you mark that chi. There's a checkbox there. When a chi is marked, you can't roll with it. So essentially, your stats are also your harm. It's also your hit points. You can always, when you have to mark your chi, you can opt to check the wounded box. It gives you a -2 ongoing, but it's a way to not have to mark, like, say, your style element or something.
How do you unmark the chi? Is there a specific move for it, or is it as a result of GM fire?
There is a comfort and support action which allows you to unmark people's chi. For a resource for you, in case you want some help or some ideas, I have a factions and names tab. That has male first names, female first names. It also has what I would call Wulin names, like Daughter Bird or Green Saber Jiang. It also has some example style names. So if you need some help, need some resources, that tab is there for you.
What the heck?
Steve, I love your style weapon, by the way.
Yes. It's... He is not a traditional martial artist.
All right, we give you just a couple more minutes, and anything we don't get, we can wrap. We can choose as we play.
Just to double check, so we're
Sure.
going through not doing stuff with the entanglements or the bonds yet.
Not yet. Yeah, everything up to 4.
And let me do this.
Gerwin, are you stuck on a name?
Part of my problem is I keep on going back to ones which would fit Exalted and wouldn't necessarily fit this setting. I'm just looking through the name tab at the moment.
Oh, that's because they're taken from an Exalted name generator.
Oh,
It's perfectly fine.
okay. So let's go back there.
There, of course, a few of my own devising, but a lot of this was started by looking at what that wonderful Exalted name generator that used to be online that has since vanished. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through. I'm going to have each of you introduce your character. Tell us about who they are, how you conceive them. If you need to, there are established factions, which I'll talk about. We've got those on that factions and name tape, so I'd appreciate if you have a group, whatever, you connect to those, just to work from a set thing there. And then I'll ask you about your style, and I'll ask you about your moves, and all of that kind of thing. Once we get done with that, then we will go through and we will do the entanglements and do those entanglement questions and get that set. So I am going to work from left to right across the spreadsheet here. Gerwin, can you please tell us about your character?
Yes, I'm playing Cheerful Arya, who is the adopted son of the General Sun Tiger. Sorry, the Warlord Sun Tiger.
Okay.
I'm very much thinking of the sort of stories that you see in things like Storm Riders and.
Absolutely, yeah. And what do they look like? How do you imagine them?
Very, very pale skin, very non-decorative clothing, but very flowing dark robes, long sleeves, long flowing robes, long hair. Carries a iron flute as his weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this isn't one of the smaller ones. This is one of the big walking stick flutes that you see, for example, in Kill Bill when Bill's playing it. So it's one of the long polearm style.
And so your style element is fire. What is reflective of that element in your movements and approach with this weapon?
Well, the way he uses it, it's all about brief bursts of aggression and controlled aggression. But basically, he will do sudden movements. It's flowing, flicking like a flame, and people come in and bang, he just bursts out with uncontrolled violence. Basically, it's a very angry style, and it plays on the emotions that he has within him.
How old were you when you were adopted by Warlord Sun Tiger?
I was 6 years old after he massacred my village.
Okay. Did the style that you have, was that something that someone in his organization taught you openly or secretly, or is it his style? What do you imagine?
I think I was taught this by one of the teachers that he actually found for me.
Okay.
He was training me up to be one of his captains, one of the leaders of his legion.
Okay. Tell us about the moves that you picked, the Devoted Child, and then that you have, and then the other two you chose.
Okay, well, Devoted Child allows me, I'm loyal to my family. I'm loyal to General Sun Tiger. And as a result of that, once per session, I can call in a favor, be it a letter of introduction, access to somewhere where I wouldn't necessarily have access, or support for any sort of wild scheme that I come up with. It gives me that little level of authority that I wouldn't have otherwise by trading on his name and the family name.
Absolutely. I like that. And your move picks?
I have a Rage of the Tiger. When someone lies or breaks a promise to me and I find out, I gain a bond with them. It allows me to actually spend bonds to stymie their plans and make their schemes go wrong. But also allows me to actually burn bonds to get additional bonuses to my rolls against them directly.
Awesome.
And finally, I have Strife for Mastery, which again plays into his role as a captain in the Legion of Warlord Sun Tiger. When you give an NPC an order based on an authority they recognize, I get to roll and I get to try and get certain advantages out of that.
Excellent. All right. Thank you. Now we know Tearful Aria, and we'll come back to you after we get done and do the entanglements. Stephen, please tell us about your character.
I am playing Bao Ping, who is also known as Master Tea Dumpling. He is a wanderer. He is obsessed with dumplings, and he is traveling through all of China in an attempt to discover the perfect dumplings, the 7 celestial dumplings, which are the perfect forms of each type of dumpling. This is his life's work.
Nice.
And he, in appearance, he's very, very plump, and jovial appearance, slightly balding. He is a commoner, but he dresses well for a commoner. He tends not to be short of money because he is a very good cook, and he's good at making a little bit of money wherever he goes. And his moves, he's got the Wanderer move. Whenever he returns to a community which he once visited, which is just about every community, he's been just about everywhere, he rolls, and if it's a good roll, the locals remember me favorably. If it's a bad roll, I left some trouble behind me that I'm going to have to deal with. And my other moves are the Royal Tramp. I'm very good at getting out of bad situations. I can attempt to escape situations even when surprised. And a Deadly Secret. When bad guys appear, I always know who they are, just through my extensive experience of the world.
Awesome.
My style element is wood, and my signature style move is the Iron Belly. I focus all of my chi into my belly, and I body slam my opponents.
So do you imagine that seems like a fairly unorthodox style? Do you think that's something you developed, or was there a teacher? How do you imagine that?
I think it's something that I developed. It developed. My fighting experience is basically tavern brawls, and I learned to focus my chi through my cooking studies. And at some point, I learned how to combine my mastery of chi and my usual tavern brawl style of fighting.
And do you think you have kind of a reputation that kind of goes before you, kind of precedes you then?
I think I do, but I think different people react to me differently.
Okay.
I do have something of a reputation as a womanizer. In pretty much every community, I very sincerely make promises of eternal love to somebody.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll come back on entanglements in a sec. David, can you please tell us about your character?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm going to be playing Black Fox. He's a Bravo, specifically a Gallivant. So he's all about sort of living large and having fun is his primary drive in life. So his look, he's kind of got intense burning eyes, sort of wild hair, quite long hair pulled back up in a big sort of loose ponytail thing, kind of, at least I'm remembering the bandit in Crouching Tiger.
Okay.
That sort of look. Very well. So I'm inspired by the which I'll put up for people in the hangout, but the picture of Bruce. Oops, no, that's wrong. I've got the wrong copy thing in there at the minute. But that picture of Bruce Lee with the saber in the Pinterest board you put together, which I'll just stick in now. So yeah, that's his. He dresses, in sort of quite simple martial gear, showing off his muscles as much as possible. Carries a saber. His fighting style is Whirling Ember style, which is also a fire-based style. Lots of very fast, very flowing movements, lots of spinning, lots of kicks and saber slashes and leaping. Very dynamic style. So for move,
like the age you're seeing from the picture, or younger?
Yeah, probably. So just having, probably similar to that sort of.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, maybe mid 20s, late 30s, something like that. Mid 20s to late 20s, rather early 30s. That sort of regions. Not super young, but not an old hand. So as he is basically one of those sort of very sort of pure wuxia sort of characters. He is basically just a wandering agent of chaos. Tends to roam around a lot, doesn't really have a fixed base. Occasionally joins in with one rebel group or other, or spends some time doing a bit of light banditry. Has a dubious reputation is probably the best way of putting it. Not a villain, but he's trouble.
Okay.
And in no way ashamed of it.
So what do you have for moves?
So yeah, for moves. So for the Gallivant move, essentially when I might get into trouble due to my bad reputation, I get to make a roll, and somehow other people just tend to get implicated in what happened, and I tend to get out of things scot-free. I've taken Come Drink with me, which allows me, when I'm interacting with someone, I can distract them from other business, lure them off to a private location, that sort of thing. He's very charismatic, a lot of force of personality to him.
So despite his banditry and maybe a little more rough appearance, he is a fairly charming person.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. The final one is It Takes a Thief, which allows him to slip from any restraint or pass through any door or window as if it were open. And that kind of features as well into his combat style. So again, he's very, very agile. Can kind of do all like the parkour type stuff. Yeah.
Do you imagine that his blade is a nice blade? Is it a very workmanlike blade? How do you imagine that?
It's workmanlike. It probably is essentially an ex-military saber.
Okay.
It's probable he has served in the military at some point in his life, but probably didn't last there very long.
Excellent. Thank you much. Michael, let's come to you and have you introduce your character.
Okay, I'm playing Third Hammer Duke. Basically see him as a Chinese Brian Blessed. Like, gigantic, large, bushy beard. Moods come and go relatively easily to him. Like, he laughs and enjoys himself quite easily. He also can become sort of sullen fairly easily as well. Youngest son of a fallen house, though he's probably in his 50s. Made his way in the world on his own. He's been kind of wandering, has been cut away from the things he thought his life was going to be when he grew up. Has learned a lot the most difficult ways possible often, and wants to see others not necessarily have to go through things quite the way he does. Which are the moves I took. As a traveling Sifu, he knows so many people, he can pretty much always pick out who someone is with, because at some point he's had some sort of dealings with almost any of them. He has a bonus of Ashes of Time with his inner conflict. He has learned to control himself fairly decently when it comes to emotional difficulties. And Final Master enjoys the making plans with people. On a 10+, he holds 3. When carrying out a plan, he can basically help people out when he's worked with them on that. And his weapons are the twin meteor hammers, using the God Ghost exchange for his martial arts style.
Do you mention then, if you come from this fallen house, is that the style of the house, or is it something else that you've had to learn?
I think he was probably learning that while he was young.
Okay.
Because I think he probably it's a form that usually requires a bit more a calmer edge than he sometimes has, that he probably would have had if he had the entire discipline of being raised in it. But since he got cast away from that relatively young, it grew with him. He's probably a little bit of an unorthodox practitioner of it, because he lacks the kind of inner calm that most practitioners learn to focus.
How we're getting a little bit of echo from you. How big are these hammers? Are we talking large size, or are they more hand hammers?
I was thinking fairly large, not like Final Fantasy size.
Okay.
Large, but like large. I mean, he's a big enough person that. Let me do this real quick. Okay, he's a big enough person that he's actually able to wield some fairly large. Because like the meteor hammers are 2 hammers basically on a chain.
Okay.
In between. So they are probably the size a normal person might use one-handed, or possibly even 2. He's able to sort of pick up and use himself. They are impressive. They are large. And when he sets them down, they have a tendency to stay.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. We are now going to move to our entanglements. We're going to do those. If you want to look, we have a tab there. The third tab has, I've curated some entanglements based on the playbooks. But if you're like, oh, none of those really fit, then you can look over to the side about romantic entanglements. Now, here are the things to keep in mind. One, we have a set on the factions and names tab of factions. These are the Wulin forces or societies here. So when we're constructing our entanglements and connections and things and backstory, we should connect up with one of those, just to have those, on the table. I've split them into righteous and unrighteous, orthodox, unorthodox. That doesn't necessarily mean good, evil. It means, maybe perceived as upright, or perceived as suspicious or dangerous. It depends on how you want to define that. Ambiguous people aren't sure. Maybe there's some people who are following an orthodox style, some unorthodox. And we have the Yun clan, which is a clan that was destroyed. That's on the table as well. So ideally, we want to do that. And you can listen to what other people bring into their factions, and we'll try and link those things up. So with the entanglement, you're going to do one romantic, and you're going to do one general. Now, each of those is a triangle, meaning that it's a relationship to someone, and then a third person complicates that. So you got two people that you're going to be figuring out in that entanglement. So that's a total of 4 name slots between the two. I'd like you, and we need to have you connect up with one other PC in at least one of those slots, in at least one of those entanglements. Be that romantic or general, it's up to you how you want to do that. Obviously, if you put somebody into the entanglement, we'll check in with them and make sure they are cool with that approach to things. The way we're going to do this is we're going to start again back at the beginning. You'll do one of your entanglements. We'll get that worked out. And then we'll go back and you'll do the other one of your entanglements. And you can choose which one you want to do first in this. Any questions about that, about the phrasing or about any of these things? And certainly we'll be coming up with NPC names and getting those on the table. Hearing none, I will begin. Gerwin, for Tearful Aria, which do you want to start with? Do you want to start with a romantic, or do you want to start with a general entanglement? You're muted.
Oh, okay. I think I'll start with a general entanglement.
Okay.
Okay. I'm thinking about taking the one which says, "I remain loyal to my master, despite how they treat my younger sibling."
Okay.
I was thinking about having. I was wondering whether Black Fox, whether you would like to actually be my brother, having survived the actual destruction of our village and got away, whereas I didn't.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay.
Okay.
And who are you going to? Is it our the warlord that is the master, or is it just your teacher? How do you imagine that?
It's the warlord that's my direct master. So
Okay.
General Sun Tiger.
And what is he doing? Is he like? I mean, is he pursuing Black Fox? Then do you think that Black Fox is on the kill list or something?
I think he's pursuing Black Fox. Black Fox has been a rebel at certain points, and I think one of the people he's been fighting is my master, who is the head of the Holy Society.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Holy Society. So a more martial Wulin faction, more aggressive, I assume.
Very much so. Basically, a conquering general and his horde of mooks.
And obviously, essentially wants at some point to be the leader of all of the Wulin world in the classic style.
Oh, very much so. He will conquer the world, and everyone will bow to him and acknowledge his greatness.
Excellent. All right. Next, Stephen, do you want to do romantic or do you want to do general?
I'll do a romantic entanglement.
Okay.
I am courting Shu, whose mother Feng owns the local tavern, even though Feng suspects that I'm simply trying to steal her secret of method of preparing water chestnuts.
Okay. Courting Feng, mother, and Fen or Feng?
Feng.
Feng. So that's a good classic Wulin comedy entanglement there. I like that. Is this a famous place? Is it a large place? Is that why that's significant?
No, it's not. It's not a famous place. She doesn't even make notably above average dumplings. She just does something with water chestnuts that's very interesting and that I can't figure out.
Okay. All right. David, let's come to you. And a romantic or a general?
I think I'm going to go for a general one here.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to say my clan senior, who I think I'm actually going to say that. Sorry. Behind sort of the more carefree facade I live behind, I do actually serve Third Hammer Duke. I'm wondering if it makes sense that that faction be the destroyed Yun clan.
What do you think about that, Michael?
Oh, I just came back. It all froze up on me again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I had to not restart the computer. My worry is I think my computer is on its last legs.
Okay.
And because it's been cutting out, I have a feeling it's going to keep doing that.
Okay.
So it might be better if I'm not which sucks because I was really looking forward to playing in Wushu instead of running it.
Okay.
But it might be best that if I keep dropping out. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely it is your call if you want to drop.
Yeah. I don't want to, but I think it's going to become too much of a problem because this thing's about to die.
Okay. No, I perfectly understand, especially if you're getting a new computer. Michael, thank you very much. Let's make sure that we get a chance to play together, okay?
Yep. Thank you much. Sorry, guys. Have yourselves a good one.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Godspeed.
I hate computer issues. All right. So Black Fox, let's roll back here. Other thoughts?
Yeah, so I'll just have a quick. I'll go back and have a quick look through the entanglements again. Okay, I'll go. I'll go back to it's sort of reinforcing the same bond again, but I'm going to say that I have discovered that my sibling, which is obviously Tearful Area, has been learning techniques from the master of an enemy clan. Which I think will be the Moon Silver Queen, who is the head of the liquid metal delegates.
Does that fit with how you're imagining that for your character?
Yep, that's fine. She could be the one that taught me the Iron Flute style that I know.
And why is she particularly an enemy of yours? What is the issue there for Black Fox?
I think. Oh, sorry. I was thinking of it more as an enemy of the what's it called? The Holy Order. Sorry, I had that in my head when I was thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
But
no, that's fine. So, are you cool with that, Gerwin? That you are learning stuff from an enemy potentially of your clan?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Okay. That's something that you're generally keeping secret, but Black Fox has learned it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can work with that. Let's come back to you, Gerwin, and let's get a romantic from you.
Okay. For romantic, I think I love Wandering Blossom, a young girl from one of the villages that is under the domain of Warlord Sun Tiger.
Okay.
But unknown to me, she is the long lost daughter of Master Tea Dumpling, who I have sworn revenge against.
So have you sworn revenge against me personally or against her father?
I think it's against you personally.
Okay.
I think you were responsible for one of.
I'm gonna actually X card that just because we've got 3 players, and if we start with you sworn on revenge on him, that's gonna actually cause a little bit of a hiccup. If I can have you modify that?
Yeah, by all means. One moment. Let me just have a look at some of the other entanglements.
Sure.
Okay. I think I love Wandering Blossom, but their sibling, who in this instance is Master Tea Dumpling, considers me beneath them.
Master Tea Dumpling, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I had dinner with him once, and he has no palate.
I like that. No palate, a little unrefined. Certainly not good enough for your much younger sister. That seems more than reasonable. Stephen, let's come back and get your general entanglement.
Yeah. Let's see. What was the name of the leader of the what was it, the liquid metal delegates that you mentioned earlier?
Moon Silver Queen.
Moon Silver Queen. I think I owe amends to Black Fox because I accidentally caused Moon Silver Queen to discover his parentage.
Oh.
So I just realized I was on mute. Yeah, that sounds cool.
All right. Which brings us, last but not least, to Black Fox. You're romantic.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with my friend Master T Dumpling and I vie for the attention of. I'm just going to get a name.
The one that he's attached to, the
Right.
shoe.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, we can go for that. We, despite her indifference to both of us.
Okay. Master T Dumpling, what do you think of that?
I think that's that's fine.
All right. So the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to set a bond with one of your fellow PCs, and then the faction that you're kind of connected to, tied with the most, even oppositionally, you will write that in as your faction bond. Bonds are a thing you can burn in play to give yourself a +1 usually after a roll. It doesn't necessarily mean you're destroying the relationship when you burn a bond. It just means the energy and connection and push, the emotion that's tied into it, you're using up for the moment to help you with something. And so we have characters in place. We're going to take about 10 minutes for a break. And then when we come back, we will do an initial scene. Okay?
Cool.
All right, so I'm going to set things up. We'll kind of hard frame a little bit to get us into position here at the start, and then we'll let you run wild over things. And my goal will be to get some of this on the table. We will see. We'll try and get as much as we can out there. The world is in tumult. The world is upset. We're in a time of trials and tribulations. The low overcome the high. Things are not as they should be in the heavens. Far away in the capital, we have a weak emperor surrounded by eunuchs. At the border, we have barbarians who push against the borders. The peasants are under the lash of this unjust emperor. And even in the Wulin world, things are in turmoil. For the situation has changed as a warlord Sun Tiger of Holy Society continues his relentless campaign of conquest and domination. And the most recent victim, the leader of the Purity Sword sect, Daughter Bird, fought against warlord Sun Tiger and fell. And the Purity Sword sect is disrupted, and one of the forces, one of the bulwarks who could have stood against Holy Society's ambitions, has fallen. And so we take up in this time of discord and trial. And I'm going to kind of set up where you are, what you're doing, and we're going to kind of do the classic martial arts scene to start with this. Tearful Aria, your father, Warlord Sun Tiger, has called you in. And he will tell you, our plans go well, but there are some obstacles that still remain, my son.
Surely nothing that can stand against your mandate. You've been you have been judged by the heavens. Surely nothing can stand against you, Father.
That is true, but there are a few things that we must align most properly. As you know, to take control of Holy Society, I defeated my own master, Ageless Sin. And now there have been rumors that Ageless Sin still lives. That is not true. I killed him myself, but someone is perpetuating these rumors. Someone is perpetuating these lies, these slanders. But I will say that whoever is doing this does know something of Ageless Sin's technique, as a number of our men have fallen to it.
Tell me their name, Father, and I will cut their tongue from their mouth.
I do not know their name, but there is a person who has some knowledge of my master's style, who I have permitted to live too long. And now you will go and you will kill them.
It will be as you wish, Father.
You will go to the town, and people don't name places in these movies, so he'll go to the town, and you will go to the tea shop that is there. There you will find, in that largest central tea shop of the town, there is a woman who calls herself Shark-Fingered Princess. She is the one you must kill.
I will bow low to my father. It will be as you wish it, father.
And we have you. We do the little montage of you out on the road. At the same time, we kind of flip over to Master Tea Dumpling, who is also on the road, heading to a town. I assume your very younger sister is kind of in tow because she does tag along from time to time.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. And you are going because rumors have reached you that there is a master of dim sum, a master of the dumpling in this town at the largest tavern. And she is called Shark-Fingered Princess. And all the reports that you have heard suggest that she may be one of these celestial chefs who can prepare sublime dumplings. And so you are headed there. And of course, as will happen, Black Fox, you are on the road and have stopped off at a tavern to settle and enjoy yourself and relax and drink. What's your purpose for heading to the town? You haven't reached the town yet. You're on the road. You've stopped at this way station. But what are you going to that town for?
I think I've been given a message to deliver by the liquid metal delegates to deliver it to somebody in the town.
Okay. And you're beginning to suspect that the liquid metal delegates may give just the hints and rumors that while you have some association with them, that they're beginning to maybe suspect your parentage. They're just this little signs and things, and you're a little nervous about what will happen if it does turn out that Moon Silver Queen knows, because certainly that would be a bad thing for the future.
Yeah.
And you are settled in there, relaxing and enjoying yourself in the usual gallivant way. We have that sort of meeting at the crossroads of Master Tea Dumpling and his sister and Tearful Aria, as you are traveling along the road, a stretch of road that we've seen in multiple movies before, but they've redressed the set just a little. It looks like you're both along that path, heading the same direction. Which of you greets the other first?
I think what's happened is I'm sat at the crossroad playing my flute, and this unearthly song can be heard as they're coming up the road. They come around the corner. There's mist over the hills that surround this road, and they just see this figure dressed in black and dark robes playing a long, soulful song on the flute as they get closer.
And your heart will skip a beat, Tearful Aria, as you see that Wandering Blossom is there with her brother, Master Tea Dumpling. Master Dumpling, what's your reaction to this sudden appearance?
I look at my sister with suspicion. I'm thinking, did she arrange this?
She appears as surprised as you are.
Oh, well. Must be a coincidence then. Yes.
We should speak to him.
Yes. Hello, Tearful Aria. I am surprised to see you here out in the middle of nowhere. What brings you here?
And I will put down my flute. Master Ping, this is an unexpected pleasure. And I will lift the flute back up again and play a brief set of chords that are more romantic, more soulful. I am on my father's business, as I always am. I see you are abroad. May I ask why you tread these paths?
For the best of all possible reasons. I am on my way to eat dumplings.
Ah, yes, your predilection for such foods is legendary. Very well. May I travel with you, if you have no objection? And I will stand up and grab my pack.
You may.
It's a certain air of suspicion to your voice there, I suspect.
Yes. And I'm sort of thinking, he's not worthy of these dumplings.
Your sister is another issue. The dumplings, definitely not.
Yes.
And I will bow properly to Wandering Blossom. My lady, it is a great pleasure to see you on these roads.
It has been some time since we last spoke.
Yes, I remember well the nights talking philosophy and poetry over the fine teas back in unnamed village.
Yes, it surprised me that one who served such a brutal master could speak so finely of philosophy.
There are many things you do not comprehend about my master. He may be brutal, but he is just. And he is wise beyond the ken of mortal men.
And you can see that she does not like that. You can see that saying that clearly pushes her away from you. You can feel that there.
But let us not talk about my master. He is known to the world. What brings you forth? Surely you do not travel just for dumplings.
It's for dumplings. It's my only reason, she says, lying very clearly.
Well, if these dumplings have drawn you out of your gilded cage, then they must truly be epic.
She bridles at the phrase gilded cage, but she will gather herself up and begins to walk perhaps a little bit faster on the road then.
I think this is at the point that Black Fox makes his presence known, and he will strut out of the mist and sort of do a sort of full, double take thing for sort of striding up. Well, bugger me. It is a Master Tea Dumpling and Tearful Aria. His sort of hand goes to the pommel of his sword, not actually reaching for it, and he's like, I get the feeling things are going to get more interesting than I thought. He'll then turn his attention to
Wandering Blossom?
Wandering Blossom, and say, tell me, who is this rose that stands here between two thorns?
May I present my sister, Wandering Blossom?
Well, hello. She kind of.
This is the renowned Black Fox.
Oh, Black Fox! I've heard many tales of your legendary prowess, and your fight for justice, of a kind.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, though. You shouldn't listen to those sort of tales, a young lass like you. But
it is true. He does not just fight for justice, but for coin.
And don't forget wine, women, and song as well.
Many, many women, indeed.
And she will do that kind of sniff and set out, leaving the three of you to kind of follow in her wake down the road.
What brings you on this road, brother?
I'm heading into town.
Surely not dumplings as well?
I'll take whatever I can get my hands on.
Yes, I've heard of that. My purse is closed.
Mr. T. Dumpling, do you acknowledge this tension between your two companions, or do you press on?
I think I press on. I don't think there's no reason for me to step in the middle of this.
And you will move along the road, and we go from the outdoor set to a little bit later what's clearly an indoor set, even though we're still on the road here. And your sister has gotten a little bit ahead of you, Master T. Dumpling, but she has stopped because there is a little sort of side market that has been set up beside the road outside of town. Essentially, beautiful fruits and vegetables for sale here, and a group of farmers who are offering these goods. And
are you hungry, my lady?
She says, I'm looking. As you are there, kind of standing and waiting, the market woman will offer you an apple, Black Fox, for the handsome gentleman.
Thank you, my dear. He'll take it and bow.
And it's at this point that I'm going to activate one of Steven's moves. And if I may,
yeah, yes, you're going to have me roll my wanderer move.
No, actually, I'm going to reveal you have Deadly Secret.
Yes.
So there is this moment where you see her offer that apple out for Black Fox, and you're looking at the others around here, and you will recognize that this is Grandmother Venom, and that these are agents of the many poisons, and they are a deadly clan of assassins. What do you do?
I move over and I exclaim, "My, what a delightful apple!" And I take it from Black Fox's hand, and I sniff it, and I sort of take his arm, and I start. I mean, I'm trying to hustle him away. Like, what lovely produce! Oh, come, Wandering Blossom, we are in a hurry.
Can you not wait for the dumplings then, Master T. Dumpling?
Yes, this is lovely produce, but I am in the mood for dumplings today.
Master Dumpling, it would seem incourteous to not offer your sister some things. She obviously seems hungry. My lady, would you care for something to eat?
No, she would. I do not want her to spoil her appetite before tasting the legendary dumplings of what was her name? The
Shark-fingered princess.
Of the shark-fingered princess.
And the look on Tearful Aria's face grows pensive for a moment. Even so, it is not right to feast on such things on an empty stomach. And I'll reach into my purse.
Sir, are you challenging my knowledge of dumplings?
No, sir. I'm challenging your knowledge of hunger. It is something that you are famously not exposed to very often. And I will place a coin in the lady's hand and take an apple from her cart.
So you will see that he takes one of these apples, and this woman looks panicked, no, but perhaps one of these here that once bruised, and she will go to switch that apple that you have picked up with another one.
Not at all. This one looks perfectly fine.
I will take it as a slight upon my honor if you eat that apple.
I have no intention of eating that apple, and I will offer it to Wandering Blossom.
And I snap it out of his hand as he offers the apple.
So he's just affronted you, knocking this apple away, even as you offer it to his sister.
I knocks the apple away, and with my walking stick, I basically flick the apple up, back up into the air before it hits the ground, and catch it. Sir, such behavior is uncourteous in the extreme. I have presented you no insult.
And now the farmers and stuff have kind of come to attention, and you see they're kind of moving over to their carts and things, and look a little like they're looking at each other, and they're not sure what to be doing here.
So I think at this point, Black Fox probably looks slightly put out by Master T Dumpling at first, but he's probably just got a big grin on his face now, and he's just going to sort of step back and lean against the car and just watch the two of them going at it.
Clearly, you are unaware that it is the Day of the Snake, and the Day of the Snake is an inauspicious day for eating apples.
It is the Day of the Snake, yes, but I have seen no such horoscope.
Sir, have you ever seen a snake eat an apple?
I have to say, I've never seen such a thing.
As a naturalist, I can tell you that it is a thing that never occurs, and therefore, one should never eat apples on the Day of the Snake.
Ah. But your sister is not a snake. And
nevertheless, I must take great care for her health. I fear it would be extremely inauspicious for her to eat apples on this day.
Well, if you object so much, then far be it from me to intervene. I will turn round to one of the farmers and throw them the apple. Here. You enjoy this fruit.
They will set it on the cart very carefully. Very odd.
Yes, and I will turn back to Master T Dumpling. I will lean into him. Do you really hate me so much that you would present me in such a foul light to your sister?
Sir, there are things going on which you have no comprehension of. I urge you, let us leave this place at once. Our lives are in danger.
From an apple?
Yes.
I've heard the seed can be poisonous, but only if eaten in great amounts. Surely one apple would not harm anyone.
Sir.
I think at that moment, Black Fox is just going to casually reach down to the cart, pick up an apple from it, and go to take a bite. I'm assuming that's sort of a whispered conversation between the two of them.
Absolutely. Out of the corner of your eye, Master T Dumpling, you see Black Fox pick up this apple and prepare to eat it. And all of the grandmother and all these people are like they're they're very excited about this possibility.
I shout, "No, you know not what soil that apple grew in!"
He shouts at you with that.
What the bloody hell are you talking about, man?
I swear, no one shall eat apples today unless they first defeat me in battle.
And it's at that point that you will see the old woman, the crone behind the thing, clearly realized that this is not going the way that she wanted, and you shout that challenge out, and she will gesture, and you will see the various farmers suddenly draw out blades and weapons hidden from behind the cart, from in the stand of fruits, and so on. And she will say, "Enough of this! Kill the fox!" she shouts. So, Master Dumpling, you kind of triggered this revelation here from Grandmother Venom. What do you want to do?
I'm going to pull out my cleaver and stand beside Black Fox, and I tell Wandering Blossom to keep behind us, stay safe.
So you step over to there, moving to support Black Fox. You will now see this revealed ambush, a large mass of mooks, maybe even other group coming to support the ambush, but definitely this Wulin assassin. What do you want to do?
So I think he'll sort of laugh and say, "No, that makes more sense. This I'm used to." It sort of, does a cracks his neck sort of thing, and his hand goes down to his sword. He's still got the apple in his other hand, but then he nods to the grandmother and says, "Well, shall we get it over with then?"
And I think that she will leap over to you, even as part of the mooks move to kind of force Master T Dumpling away from you, and the other set of mooks move to block a Tearful Aria from getting in the middle of this. Not actually swinging, but just trying to block you. So Tearful Aria, what do you want to do?
I already have my staff out. I will step forward and I'll plant my staff in the ground and use it to actually vault over them into the midst of the fight. So I'm standing beside my brother.
Absolutely. So you are actually fighting the mooks at this point, trying to overcome their effect here. So we're going to kind of move sort of backwards on that. So let's look at this. This is a basic move. This is fighting mooks. So you're going to be rolling with your style element here.
Okay. Do you have a roll for your party?
Yeah. The link is right in the middle of the basic moves tab.
Okay.
And I can also put it in the chat here.
There we go. Okay. I love the backdrop, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, that is I'm rolling with fire, and that is a 9.
All right. So you are. Describe to me how you get past and kind of deal with these mooks here. And it isn't spectacular, but I mean, you don't look awesome, but you are able to do it with skill.
Okay, so the mooks are standing in the way. I run towards them. I literally plant my staff on the ground. I step up on it as it starts leaning down, and I vault over, taking the staff with me. I'm basically swinging it around to clear them back as I actually get to the other side.
So you land and you will send them flying, and they'll of course go into carts. Things will get knocked over, fruits and vegetables everywhere in this mess. Master T Dumpling, these you've moved beside Black Fox, but this group of farmers is like moving over to engage and draw you off.
Okay, I'm going to charge into the middle of these farmers and just, in my brawling style, knock them down, knock them into food carts, just cause general chaos.
Perfect. Let's have you roll fight mooks.
That's an 8.
That is an 8. Again, so what do we see on screen? What happens to these farmer assassins?
I mean, I just wait. I wade into the middle of them, swinging my fists and hitting them with the flat of my cleaver, and I'm just barreling through them.
Yeah, they go flying, you know, and your cleaver is a heavy weapon, so when it hits, you know, we'll hear the crack as they go sailing over, and you two will kind of clear the mooks away, get some room, and Grandmother Venom moves in, and you can see her like nails come out, and she is moving at you, Black Fox.
Sure thing. So yeah, I think I kind of circle around her as she's coming in towards me. Now she sort of lunges towards me with one of her fingernails outstretched. I jam the apple onto the end of it, dance away, and draw out my saber.
Perfect. So she is a foe that is on your scale.
Sure thing.
She is an equivalent foe for you. Still dangerous, but you possibly could beat her. So we go to the dual move, and we have you roll with your style element.
Sure thing. So that's a 10 in total.
So she's coming at you with these poison nails. You've got the apple on one. She's trying to fling that away even as she comes in. Tell me what it looks like when you beat her.
Yeah, so I think because I'm fighting with the saber, though I'm probably using it more to distract her and keep her at bay. So it's more difficult for her to get at me with the because she's obviously fighting in quite close with the nails. So I'm kind of making her work for it, spinning around a lot, keeping her at bay. And each time she does actually coming towards me, I just lash out with a palm strike or a kick to fight her off. I'm probably not actually at the minute going for like slashing at her with the saber to take her down.
So it's like you're defeating her and showing her mercy.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, is it possible that each time you swing a saber, you cut off one of her fingernails?
Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot. Yeah.
That down, and she goes in, and there will be that sequence, and she will realize that she is outmatched. She doesn't have her backup with her, and because you showed mercy, you will get to mark XP, and she will look around, and she will do that Lightfoot leap away, with that gesture of, curses at you, and will escape because you showed her mercy, but you have defeated her soundly. Your style certainly overcame what she could deliver to you.
Cool.
And for you, then Master Tea Dumpling and Tearful Aria, you see as soon as she retreats, these various farmers who are clearly disguised assassins go to run off into the woods and also flee away. What do you do, Aria?
I go to chase after them, and in a very I'm angry about this. I'm extremely angry. Poison is the weapon of a coward, and I will literally scream that as I take my staff and I start to chase after her unless someone stops me or calls me back.
Master Tea Dumpling?
I walk up to one of the carts, I pick up an apple, give it a careful sniff, and then I start eating it.
So describe to me the scene as you deal with and dispatch some of these mooks as they're running away. What does that look like?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. They have their weapons out. I come up to them. I'm dodging and weaving, and I come in. I do quick strikes. I take the leg out. Someone comes at me. I basically catch them with the front of the walking stick flute, twist it in their clothes, and basically swing them round into the person that was the other one that was about to attack me. And I basically use that person as a shield as people come in to knock them over, and then bang, smack on the head, and that individual goes down.
And it is unusual. I mean, they literally don't swing at you. They are trying not to touch you. And it makes for a strange fight as, I mean, they don't engage. They just keep running, and they clearly do not want to hit you.
And as they do that, the light of understanding will show in my eyes, and I will stop and I will back off.
Okay. Black Fox. Let me cut from you. Black Fox. This woman is taken off. You see your brother run and engage these poison-handed mooks there, and begin to dispatch them. And you'll hear the crunch of the crisp, delicious apple as Master Tea Dumpling bites into it. And what do you do?
I think he's going to kind of, flex a bit, and he looks less like disturbed that he's just tried to assassinate him than he looks like kind of, it's like he's just had a good workout. It's
Are you trying to impress Wandering Blossom?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Sure thing. Just gonna have a quick look at the chi.
What do you want to roll with?
Descriptions. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's probably Earth. I think presence feels like the right sort of descriptor for this.
That seems perfect. Let's have you roll with that.
Sorry, going through the wrong tab. So that's a 7.
Okay. So let's do this with impress here. You get to pick 2 options. You can create a bond, clear a chi, or gain a favor. But I think that certainly your brother will see you doing that.
Yep.
Does that seem like a fair, hard bargain?
Yeah, that sounds fair. So I think... I suppose I don't have a chi marked at the minute, so it will be create a bond and gain a favor. Yeah.
So you can create a bond with Wandering Blossom, if you'd like. And certainly, I think the favor is that she's kind of enamored of you.
Sure thing.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you turn around having made that realization there, Tearful Aria, and you will see that?
I will start speaking before I turn around. Brother, I must apologize. I think and I stop. And his body tenses up.
No need to apologize. You handled yourself well there. And thanks to you, Master Tea Dumpling, and he'll offer a short bow to the master.
I return the bow.
Gerwin, can I please have you roll inner conflict?
I thought that was coming.
Good news is you get to mark XP because you're
Okay.
rolling inner conflict.
And I think the style element that the chi I will be using will be metal for reflection and control, which isn't that good for me actually, because I rolled a 7.
Well, a 7. So you have a choice. You can mark metal to kind of keep yourself there and keep yourself steady, or you need to kind of get out of the scene, like you need to retreat, run away.
I'm going to brother, I apologize. I must go ahead to the town and conclude my business. I will no doubt see you later at the inn.
Of course. Take care of yourself.
And take care of yourself. And there's a bitterness in his voice.
Yeah, definitely a little off when he heads out. Master Tea Dumpling, let me ask you something here. One of the things with your special move, the Deadly Secret, is you can essentially ask a question about these many venoms, or if you want to declare something about them, you can do that.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to, when Grandmother Venom fails, who is the assassin usually chosen to follow up?
That is an interesting question. It is Bonecracker Non,
Bonecracker Non.
a specialist in the bone-destroying technique. A subtle and insidious, almost death touch-like style.
Okay, well, I don't want to panic Black Fox, so I won't
Okay.
mention that for now.
You don't reveal this important, vital detail to him.
Right.
And you will note your sister kind of goes over and makes sure that Black Fox is okay and kind of set, and she will say, we should probably move on to the town.
Indeed, let's get some of these dumplings down us.
And you will move on down the road. This seems the time for us to take my 10-minute. I'm going to make a sandwich break, and then we will return in town.
Okay.
Cool.
Brilliant. You know, I'm always worried when the DM is literally just sat there rubbing his hands together in glee.
It's Golden House.
Okay.
It's about 68 in the house right now, so I get a little chilled. So Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I was just,
as opposed to it being on fire.
I was just looking up a conversion.
I have to do that all the time when Fraser says, "Oh, it's like 12 degrees," and I'm like, "Okay, let me go to Google." All right, let's figure out what this is. So we're gonna take up, and I think we want to start with Tearful Aria arriving at town, since you're a little bit ahead, and we'll look and see what you're doing, kind of reflect on how you're feeling, and then we will go to Master Tea Dumpling and Black Phlox arriving in town. So that's how we're gonna roll things out here. So Tearful Aria, you arrive in town. We see, of course, the town gate. There, some standard guardsmen there. There's a little canal running through the town. Lots of lantern shops, that kind of thing. It's decent sized. It is bustling. What was it that you realized when you were out there?
That my father is probably to blame for this. And my father is a vicious man, but he is not a cowardly man. And for him to try to use poison as opposed to confront a problem in a honorable way, in a righteous way, troubles me greatly.
Yeah, you may have to. I mean, that's something you probably don't want to admit to Black Fox, right?
Not at all. I was literally about to confess that I thought my father's hand was in this, and then I saw him flirting with the one who I'd promised my heart to. She may not know that yet, but this is a double betrayal.
Yeah. Wow. What? I mean, your brother. Oof. So tell me, when you arrive in town, you have your mission and so on. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to do a study move to look around, or is there a particular person you know, or how do we want to proceed?
Have I been told about Sharp-Fingered Princess's inn, that she actually owns the inn?
So what your father said was that he believes it's the largest inn in town, but he didn't say what role Shark-Fingered Princess played there.
Okay. In which case, I am then going to go to the inn, have myself seated, and I will sit and watch the others, and I will look out for the telltale signs of the Sharp-Fingered Princess.
Let's have you roll study.
Okay. And in this instance, I think I'm going to be rolling with water.
Okay.
Although it's not my best stat in any way, shape, or form. And that doesn't seem to matter because I've rolled a 12.
Very nice. So with study, you get some options there. You get 2 hold.
Okay.
You can ask a question about a situation or place, or ask a question about a person, and we leave that open. You play PbtA, so you know the kind of form of the typical questions there.
Okay.
If you are looking at a particular person, you can learn their scale in relation to you. The other thing you can do is you can reveal a plot-changing detail.
Okay.
For example, I will tell you, I just want to know the sounds, because we always do the collaboration in PbtA, but we also allow in this game for bizarre twist, like in the other game, Fraser used that to realize that his sister was in fact an assassin who'd been secretly trained by his master for years, even though that wasn't established in the fiction.
Okay. Is Shark-Fingered Princess here?
So you will look around and kind of watch, and you're looking, okay, there's the innkeep, there's the waitress, there's the other person, and it's when you actually get one of these dumplings that you kind of look at it and you see the craftsmanship and the precision and the skill that goes into it. And you kind of look into the kitchen and you'll see this older woman cooking and preparing, and something tells you that is her.
Okay. And I look at her closely. What was Warlord Sun Tiger's previous master's name again?
Ageless Sin.
Okay. So I look at her. I look at her eyes, and her eyes seem very familiar to me. I've seen them somewhere before. They are very familiar. I remember them from my time as a child. That isn't the shark-fingered princess. That is my former master's master, Ageless Sin.
Excellent. Working here, making these dumplings.
Yes.
So with that revelation in hand, and on screen we probably see this cut back and forth between old woman, young woman, that sort of quick cut here of the Shaw Brothers film. Very basic effects.
I think it cuts back to me as a child being offered food at her table, and the dumplings that I actually eat there are almost identical.
Awesome. Let's cut to the arrival of Black Fox and Master Dumpling in town. Master Dumpling, I believe you have a move, right?
Yes. That's... Yeah, so roll. So I will roll with... I'll roll with water.
Okay.
It's a 9.
It's a 9. So yeah, you have been here before, and the street vendors, as you come in, essentially the ones that have the food carts and things like that, they do call out your name in a celebration of your return. They know that there's coin to be made. When you don't eat a lot, but you sample many wares, and they will give you hail and hearty greeting and call out to you. A few of them will come forward and offer delights from their things, roasted chestnuts and things of that kind that they will hand to you.
Yes, and I take a taste. I taste everything and make knowledgeable comments. I can tell that these chestnuts are from the south-facing hill.
Ah, yes. How did you know? How could you tell such a thing?
Well, because clearly the extra sweetness comes from the shade.
And many people are gathered around there. There's that nodding along and admiring of the skill here.
Yes. Oh, you always have the finest produce in this town.
And you are it's almost like a hero returning from war here as you come in. Let me ask, Black Fox, when you arrive in town here and see this go on, you will definitely see Blossom, her eyes roll a little bit. She's clearly used to these displays in different places that she travels with her brother. And what do you want to do?
So I think for the time being, I'm going to do because I'm going to head along with Master Dumpling to the inn.
Okay.
I don't know if I've been told specifically who my contact is, but I suspect that that's where I'd be meeting them.
Yeah, you've been told to meet, and that someone will come and will give you the proper code that is required. And Blossom will look at the two of you and say, well, I must go and conduct my business in town. Brother, I will meet you at the inn later.
Very well, Blossom.
And she will turn. She will. I hope to see you again later, Black Fox.
Yes.
I'm sure we will. I've no plans to leave the inn anytime soon.
And she will head off. And I assume the two of you will head to this tavern.
Yes. I am very eager to see and taste these dumplings.
Okay. And to sort of match cut here, I imagine that you two will arrive at this tavern, at this inn, probably at the same moment that our tearful Arya comes to that realization, and perhaps you're kind of pulled out of your reverie by seeing your two your companions arrive here at the very same tavern as you. And it is an inn, so it has rooms and it has the kitchen and so on. And all three of you will see each other.
Master Tea Dumpling, brother, this is not a good place for you to be. This is an important place. The Portents do not live happily on this house. May I suggest you find another inn for this evening?
I have heard of the dumplings of this inn, and nothing will bar my path.
Then please eat and make your way to your residence. I fear that there is an ill omen and ill fortune on this place. Lowell, can I trigger one of my moves, please?
Yeah, what is that? What is the move you want to trigger?
I want to trigger Rage of the Tiger.
Okay.
When someone has lied to me, I can gain a bond with them. I would actually like to gain a bond with Warlord Sun Tiger.
Absolutely. You may absolutely write that in.
Thank you very much.
Black Fox, how do you take to tearful Arya trying to clearly send you off? It's like the apple cart again, but now it's a tavern. Nobody wants you to eat places.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna Black Fox will give a little sort of chuckle and say, brother, from the as far as I can tell, pretty much everywhere I've ever been has been an ill-omened place. I'm sure things can't get any worse here than.
Brother, you may think that, but you would be mistaken. If you will excuse me, I have to go and conduct my business in this town, and I will step outside.
Okay.
And
so you will leave the scene. Let me have you walk out. Let's check in with them, and then maybe we can come back, bring the camera back to follow you. Does that seem fair?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. So tearful Arya goes to leave Master Tea Dumpling, and he's told you not to stay. I assume you're staying.
Of course I'm staying. They're dumpling. There are famous dumplings here. I must taste the dumplings.
And Black Fox?
Yeah, I'll join the master in some dumplings and some wine as well, obviously.
So the owner comes over with the little cloth draped over his arm, and he will come and go, oh God, is it? And rice wine for you, and the dumplings are exquisite today. May I have some prepared for you?
Yes. Bring us every type of dumpling that you have.
Well, I will have to see what our chef, our cook has ready today. She often prepares dumplings that are a little exotic, I should warn you.
All the better.
All right. And he will head off. One of the other waiters comes over and puts the great jug of wine in front of you. And within a few minutes, the owner comes back with at least the sort of the starter. I says, "This is the most basic to start. I've conveyed your wishes to the cook, and she said that she will prepare something special for you."
Okay.
And that doesn't hang ominously in the air at all.
Absolutely not.
Okay. And Master Tea Dumpling, these are exquisite. Do you think they rise to the level that you're searching for, or are they maybe just a precursor, like the most basic effort leading to that?
I don't think they're quite celestial, but there's something there that is definitely beyond the ordinary.
And tell me about this dumpling. What kind of dumpling is this first batch that you consume?
It's a simple chicken dumpling, but it's been fried in an oil that is infused with cardamom and 5-spice. It's a very, very subtle technique, and the flour, I can tell that it's a mixture of wheat flour and millet. The 3 parts wheat flour to 1 part millet, I would say.
Just a little hint of bitterness on the undertone of it.
Yes. And the chicken, it's cooked almost all the way through, but before being chopped up and put in the fillings, so that when it's dropped into the hot oil, it finishes cooking the rest of the way, and it's perfect. It's perfectly tender, and there are chopped scallions and a little bit of ginger.
It is quite good, and I imagine that you are careful in your eating and your examination of this. Black Fox, do you like dumplings?
Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely eats with more enthusiasm than appreciation, though.
Yeah. He popping them in the mouth. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Got a little dipping sauce there. It's pretty good.
Pouring wine for him and
Right.
him and Master Dumpling.
Right. He eats about 10 dumplings in the time it takes me to eat 2, because I'm
holding them up to the light, studying them.
Yeah.
How the fat glistens on the outside, all that. Yes.
Yeah.
So while you two are eating, let's cut back to Tearful Aria.
Okay, Tearful Aria goes to his pack, picks it up, and steps outside.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's outside, he pulls out a small little wicker cage that has a pigeon inside.
Okay.
He takes out some paper and writes a missive to his father. My most honored father, I have encountered the one you sought. I fear your master is not as dead as you have thought. Please come quickly. I am not sure this is a foe I can defeat.
And you will release that pigeon out into the air.
Yes.
Then what do you do?
Then I will walk back into the inn. I will walk into the center of the ring. I will use my staff.
Okay.
I will smack the floor.
And the innkeep looks. Everyone around, so the noise comes. Chopsticks are set down.
Shark-fingered princess. My name is Tearful Aria. I have been sent for you. Come forth so we may meet and settle the business between us.
And the owner, everyone, they all look confused. And the owner comes over and goes, that is our cook.
I am aware of that. But things are not as they seem. There are many things that lie behind the mist and the veils. Shark-fingered princess. And I would reach into my traveling pack, pull out a scroll. In the name of Warlord Sun Tiger, I challenge you. Come forth so we may meet.
Let me ask Black Fox, Master T Dumpling, what's your reaction to this sudden, loud declaration in the center of this tavern?
I'm taking speech. I am speechless. This is, what harm could anybody possibly wish to do to such a magnificent chef? This woman is a treasure.
And Black Fox is just going to sort of sink his face into his palm and just shake his head for the moment.
And as you are both reacting, you will perhaps see a woman kind of lean a little bit out of the kitchen, and she looks over at you, Tearful Aria, and she will say, "I am cooking," and then she returns back into the kitchen.
I walk over and I stand in front of the door, and I say, "Nobody shall interrupt the cooking of shark-fingered princess."
Well, I believe now, Tearful Aria, that Master T Dumpling has put himself in your way.
Yes, he has. Master, I have no ill will towards you, but I have been sent here on a mission from my lord. Do not stand against me in this.
If your lord is an enemy of dumplings, then I am an enemy of your lord.
People are moving out of the inn, by the way, at this point. They've heard the name of the warlord. Now there's this challenge, and the in-game's like, no, kind of looking around as people are filing out and clearing the place.
My lord cares not for dumplings. But there is other matters here. Ones which have a sweeter flavor than any dumpling that can be produced. And ones which hang heavy on me. Shark-fingered princess, I will await you out in the square. And I will I'll leave the scroll. I'll take the set of chopsticks. I'll walk up to one of the walls and I'll jam the chopsticks in with the scroll with the challenge on. And I will then take my staff and I will go and sit outside and I will start playing.
Okay. Black Fox, what's your take on this?
Yeah, so I'm going to go up and read I'll just tear the challenge off the wall and look at it. I will shoot a glance over to Master Dumpling and sort of see what he wants to do.
I'm going to return to my table because I'm expecting several more courses of dumplings.
Okay. Black Fox, it looks like he's just going to sit down to eat.
That's fair. So I will head outside into the square where
Tearful Aria?
Yeah, where Tearful Aria is playing. And I'll just sort of stand there, arms folded. And say, I don't know what your father has why your father has a quarrel with the chef at this here tavern, but you've got to decide if you're going to be your father's lapdog for the rest of your life, or you're going to make something of yourself.
I have a filial duty, both to you and to my father. Do not mistake me. This is not a fight I wish. It is not a fight I can win. but I have a duty to perform. I do not sit here playing a song for the princess. I sit here playing a dirge for myself, for I will surely die in this fight.
Then I think you should reconsider. Your father may be many things, but he is not worth dying for.
I do not fight for my father in this. I fight for myself. I have a duty. If I abandon that duty, what am I? I am nothing. If I give my word and I break my word, what am I? I am forsworn and I am nothing.
I'm going to cut back inside as some of the people file back in, Master Dumpling. You'll see some people come down from the upper chambers, like the private rooms and stuff like that. And you will actually see coming downstairs Feng and Shu. And they haven't seen you quite yet.
Okay. This is not the town that Feng and Shu are from.
No.
Yeah, they must be here to Feng must have come here to learn Shark-Fingered Princess's secret dumpling recipes.
Absolutely.
I mean, I catch their attention and I invite them to join me.
So you will call out, and Feng certainly looks startled when she hears your voice, and you will see Shu kind of does that thing where she's been ambivalent towards both you and Black Fox, and there is that bit where the social propriety makes it so they do have to come over to where you're at. They can't just sit down somewhere else. And Feng will come over and will go, bow.
Mistress Feng, a pleasure to see you, as always.
She doesn't return the compliment. And she says, what brings you here? Just stuffing your gullet as usual?
Yes.
And she says, well, we have other business, my daughter and I. And
business more important than dumplings?
And she will go to say something, but she holds off and she will say, it can be both. And she will gesture to Shu, and they will go over to one of the tables. And you will see this woman, older, and she's got the apron on and so on, and she has a large tray, and she will come walking out of the kitchen with this tray, and she will walk over to where you are at, Master Dumpling, and she has a number of covered dishes there.
Okay.
The owner relayed to me that you had a refined palate.
I hope so. I have devoted my life to the study of dumplings.
And she will set it down, and she will say, well, I've prepared for you a ensemble. I call this the Zodiac dumplings. There is one each representing one of the figures of the Zodiac. A combination of tastes and spices that are delightful and challenging to the palate.
take it that I should begin at the first sign of the zodiac and proceed through each house in order?
Absolutely. Only that way will you understand the true meaning of the meal.
All right. So, yes, I assume that I'm able to tell which dumpling.
Oh yeah, I assume there's I imagine that the Chinese character for it is on the lid there.
Right. So I start with the rat dumplings.
And they're unusual. They've got a kind of an earthy taste, like an opening, and yet at the same time they're kind of a palate cleanser to prepare you for what comes.
Yeah. And is it actual rat meat, or is it just?
Oh no, it's just a marker of that. None of the meats are of the particular sign.
Right. Well, perhaps some of them, like the ox dumplings.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
She will say, "If you will excuse me, I have an appointment outside."
Princess, I warn you, Tearful Arya is a skilled warrior, and your talent is too great to be lost. Please, I beg of you, do not accept this challenge.
She says, I must at least go and speak with him.
Very well, but if you need a champion to fight for you, I offer myself in your place. Only, please, first permit me to finish the 12 zodiac dumplings.
You go ahead. I will go and speak.
Okay, so I proceed to the ox dumplings.
Okay. And you begin this wondrous roller coaster journey of dumplings through different flavors and specially made sauces, and even some, like some of them are decorated and like maybe saffron infused in some of the dumplings to make them more yellow, and it is a cavalcade. And she will step outside, and she's kind of dusting off her apron there, and she will kind of look. She sees you, Black Fox.
I will offer a bow to her, and I'll turn to I'm terrible with names there, to Tearful Arya, and say, well, if what you say is true, I respect your strength of character as much as I doubt your sense, and I'll step aside and let her approach Tearful Arya.
And she kind of stands there and she looks at you, and she looks very familiar to you as well.
Sure thing.
I will bow incredibly low to her as a pure sign of deference. Master, it has been many years.
I'm not your master, and I was never your master. I think you misremember.
You were my master's master.
Perhaps once upon a time.
And by right, you should still be.
Not with what he took from me, no.
Will you set some time before we must do this? I will get the attention of one of the people from the actual restaurant itself, from the inn itself, and ask for tea to be brought.
and they will rush and bring out the little chairs and the little table with like 3 chairs, and the tea set there, and she will wait till they're settled, and she will set herself down in one of the chairs.
I will pour some tea for her, and for my brother, and finally for myself. It has been many years.
I will stroll over at that point and take a seat at the table.
And she looks at you and she says, "You two look so much alike."
But we have gone down different paths. You have found a place for yourself in the world. You know why I'm here.
I can imagine. But why are you here, Black Fox?
Just a simple delivery to make, nothing of much consequence. Coincidence, I suppose, or fate, if you will have it.
Fate, I have no doubt.
This is a very fateful day. And I apologize if I have caused difficulty for yourself.
Well, it meant I had to rush a little on the order.
It was incourteous of me, and I apologize.
It's okay. You weren't raised right.
My master comes here. My master who taught me to be honorable, yet turns to poison to kill my brother.
And she'll look at Black Fox to gauge your reaction to that.
He'll probably sort of do that thing of like narrowing his eyes for a moment, then sort of getting it and sort of shrugging his head. I suppose it makes sense. I've pissed him off as much as anyone else, if not more.
My master, who was also lied about slaying you. What other lies has he told us? Why does he fear my brother so?
He fears your brother because while you are strong and he is strong, together you are unstoppable. And I'm going to cut back to Master Dumpling. What is the last dumpling in the Zodiac?
That's the dumpling of the pig.
Okay.
And so, this is the perfect pork dumpling. Yeah. This is a celestial dumpling.
Yeah, it has the right mouthfeel, the right spices, the right flavor. Everything about it is sheer perfection. And everything about the other dumplings, like a staircase, they led up to this one. Yeah. Hints of what was to come.
Yes, I mean, I burst into tears. And then I go outside. I kneel at the shark-fingered princess's feet, and I bow so deeply that my forehead touches the ground. And I beg her to make me her apprentice.
And she will look. She's maybe about to say something to the two of you when Master Dumpling comes out and does this bow, and she will say. She will say, we can talk of that. It took me many years to learn to make such dumplings. And she'll kind of pat you on the shoulder as if to say, please rise.
I sort of I lift my head, but I remain kneeling humbly. I mean, I can't bring myself to just stop showing her respect.
And she will look at the two of you and she will say, when Warlord Sun Tiger took you from me and cast me into the abyss, I thought that my life was over. And it was years before I could right my chi and bring my bones back into alignment. And more years before I could find a craft that would allow me to show my skill.
My hand shakes on the cup, and the cup smashes in it. Can I do a brief exposition flashback? If you're, because
sure. Let me get a Black Fox's reaction, and then let's have you do that flashback.
Okay.
Black Fox, what's your reaction to these statements here?
I think he is just kind of. I mean, he is speechless. He's sort of shut by. He's never. I mean, until relatively recently, he's never known who his parents were and never really cared to know, sort of thing. So yeah.
Okay, kind of take that in with the sort of force of that, and
yeah.
Let's cut to the flashback then.
Okay, so the flashback I had originally when I saw Age of Sin was a brief montage of short shots. Now we actually get to see the full scene play out of the family together eating around the table, and it's obviously a loving family. It's we're all happy and laughing and giggling, and as it goes on, there's a dark figure appears in the door behind us, and our mother ushers us to the side and tells us to go to our rooms. And the silhouette that we see comes into focus as he steps into the light, and it's a younger Warlord Sun Tiger, and his blade is drawn.
And I think we cut back to the present here. Those words kind of hanging in the air. These two are just like, you will look and see, Master Dumpling, that they are like maybe the blood has gone away from their face. They look pale and struck and clearly just in shock, and perhaps that's why you notice the sound of the approaching footsteps here rather than they do.
Okay. Yeah. So can I see who is approaching?
So you will stand and look, and you will see from one end of the street, you will see what appears to be Grandmother Venom and her associates approaching much more openly. And from the other people that you know, a man named Silver Shadow, who is Moon Silver Queen's lieutenant, and a group of the liquid metal delegates. And the two seem to be closing in on this position. What do you do? What do you say?
Mistress Princess, I fear that this is about to become the site of conflict. May I suggest that we withdraw to the inn?
She goes, I do not wish a fight in the inn. That's where I keep my cooking implements.
Lowell, can
Yes.
I spend a bond, please?
Sure. What do you want to do with that?
I want to spend my bond with the Warlord Sun Tiger to have using my Rage of the Tiger move to have one of his plans or activities go. Can't say the word. Awry.
Okay.
So as I stand up to actually take my mother in my arms, there's a cut to a figure on the rooftop with a bow. It draws back an arrow and lets it fly. And
Okay.
as I grasp her, I think I get struck with it rather than she does.
Absolutely. So I will tell you what. Why don't you mark XP and mark a chi to represent the wound? Does that seem fair?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. You can always mark wounded if you don't want to mark a chi. That's always the option.
That's fine. I think I'll mark water in this instance.
Black Fox, they go to embrace, and you'll hear the shoot of the arrow as your brother turns and takes it in the back.
Yeah, so at that point, he's going to leap to his feet, knocking the table over. The teapot shatters on the ground, sending the remnants of the tea everywhere. He draws his saber, spins around, and yells out, "Which one of you bastards did that?" And is I'm guessing maybe going for like a
study, or you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, yeah, let's do that so we can kind of give you some info on the scene, and then we can kind of move along here.
So,
what do you want to roll with?
I think it's probably. I keep flicking to different tabs rather than different tabs in the document.
Sure.
Probably water. I think awareness seems like the sensible one here.
Let's have you roll with that. That seems perfect.
Ooh, that's not good. That's a 2 on the dice. It gets a 3 in total.
So you turn to do that, and you will have this figure leaps down from the roof and lands next to you and just touches you in the shoulder. And you will feel this force as it's almost like your bones crack. And you need to mark a chi.
Sure thing.
And that will be the one you just rolled.
Yep.
And you'll kind of spin around, and you'll see this Bonecracker Non moves forward to come in and do his heart-shattering strike on you. Master Dumpling, the situation has just gotten insane. Multiple figures. Black Fox is down. It looks like Arya took a arrow to the back. What do you want to do?
I'm going to protect Black Fox. I'm going to interpose myself with the blow, and I'm going to try to block it with my iron belly.
Okay. So you move to engage, and so you are against this foe Bonecracker Non. Let me check in and see what Arya is doing, and then we'll resolve your interaction with this one.
I think I've collapsed in my mother's arms.
And she is desperately trying to remove the arrow from you as gently as she can.
No, it is barded. To rip it out would do more damage.
You must stay strong. You must stay strong.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I meant to kill you.
And she has no words for that. Let me cut back to you're in front of Bonecracker Non. Black Fox has been knocked to the ground, and this figure reaches back and he says, he kind of laughs at you and goes, "Fat man, you should step out of my way. You have no idea who you're dealing with."
Yes, I do. You're Bone Crusher Non.
Oh, then you do know. He is on your scale. So let's have you roll duel.
Yeah, okay. And right, so this is my style element. It was wood. And that is a 9.
Okay. So here is, you can win. You could burn a bond if you want to take it to a 10. Or you could 7 to 9 is win, and you have to make a choice.
Yeah, I will burn a bond because I do owe amends to Black Fox, and this is how I will make amends to him. So that pushes it to it.
Yeah. So tell me how this works with this sort of he has the sort of eagle claw striking style with his fingers in, kind of coming at you. Tell me how you defeat him.
I mean, he delivers his eagle claw blow, which has never failed before, but he's never gone up against the iron belly.
Yeah, hit you in the belly.
Right, and it has no effect. Right, and he's startled, and I just reach out and I punch him in the face, and he falls down.
Yeah, you strike him hard with that. Let me ask you this: are you showing him mercy, or are you taking him out?
You know what? I think I'm taking him out.
Okay, yeah. You strike. All the rage that this dumpling chef should be threatened in such a way that she is kept away from her kitchen, and it will lift him up, and he will hit against the post on the other side of the street, and he falls to the ground, lifeless, unconscious. No one knows at this moment here. Black Fox, your death was coming for you, and suddenly Master Dumpling has rescued you. What do you wish to do?
I will kind of flip back up to my feet again, bow to Master Dumpling, and say, "Thank you for that. I'll maybe put in a good word with Shu for you," and give him a wink, and then turn on the what do you call them? The
Venoms?
The Venoms as they're approaching.
Okay. And you can see that in the time that you've been gone, that she's been gone, that she has come back and she has replaced her nails with these iron, like steel nail sheaths on here, like a primitive press-on nails. And even in the light of the moon here, you can see that they glisten with venom here. And she will move to engage you.
Sure thing. Yeah, I will come towards her, spinning the saber as I do. So I gave you one chance. I won't be so lenient again.
Let's have you roll. She is still on your scale, even though she has weaponed up to come and deal with you.
Sure thing. Ooh, that's a 13.
That is a 13. So tell me what it is that she doesn't even come close to matching your skill or your passion right now. What do we see?
Yeah, so I think it's before, like I said, when he fought her, he was kind of using the sword to sort of keep her at bay while striking her. This time, his sort of eyes narrow. He whirls a blade. He sort of almost runs towards her, that sort of speed, as she comes towards him, sort of claws outlashed, and he just at the last minute spins around, drops down and coming back up again, and just takes her head off in a single swipe.
And there was probably a moment where we see her standing there, and then the body falls back and the head falls and rolls out, and you'll see the venoms, the mooks who were there that were about to come forward. They're startled. They've never seen a stroke quite like that, and they're unsure what to do.
Can I intercede at this point?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I will use my staff to lift myself up, and I will turn towards them. You know who I am. You know who has commanded you here. If you continue this fight, then I will surely die. Go.
Let's have you roll. This is fighting mooks, actually. This is you using the force of presence to do that.
I was hoping to actually use my Strive for Mastery move.
Oh, okay.
When you give NPCs
that's even better. That's easier.
Authority.
Yeah.
So I will, in this instance, I will roll with Earth, I think, for my presence.
That seems perfect. Yeah, you can get the option to do that, not risk your style.
Okay, so that's an 11. Sorry, 12.
All right. So they hesitate. They look down at the head of their master, and they turn tail and run. They will flee back out into the night. This you will hear the sound as this other group closes in.
Stop. And I will turn to the.
Let me check now. So you've dealt with them. Let me come over to Master Dumpling. Master Dumpling, Bonecracker Non has collapsed to the ground. You will see Black Fox leap to his feet and strike down Grandmother Venom, and a brutally injured Arya raises himself up and disperses the venoms. But these liquid metal delegates come rushing in. Silver Shadow coming in. What do you do, Master Dumpling?
For the sake of culinary for the sake of the culinary gods, hold. Let us speak peacefully.
Oh, let's see. Do you have a bond with the liquid metal delegates, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm an occasional informant for them.
I will let you burn that to give you the leverage to try and do hearts and minds here.
Okay. All right. And let's see. I'm going to roll with fire because I'm feeling passionate about these dumplings.
All right. Let's have you roll.
That's a 7.
That is a 7. I think they're going to press forward, but they do hesitate. Like you stop them for a moment, but then Silver Shadow and this great band of mooks do press forward. Like they know you, but this matter is more important, more severe than that. Black Fox, the venoms have been dispersed. What do you want to do?
I think yeah, I'm just wondering, I don't want sorry, I was just saying if yeah, so I will just turn to them as well, the delegates, as they come up and say, "What are you doing here? What's all this about? I've no quarrel with you."
And they've clearly moved in and closed forward, and Silver Shadow will say, "We are the distraction." And you will see come out of the inn in a blur. You will see Feng and Shu come out, and you will see them rush and lay hands on Shark-Fingered Princess. Let's come to you, Arya.
Okay. So
we have Silver Shadow. We have these mooks here kind of drawing the attention. And even as that happens, these two figures rush out and grab your mother.
At which point I will go to step between them. I will basically stand between them with my staff staff held out. Why do you? At which point my face, which was already pale, will stop, and a single drop of blood will run down from my eye as the poison on the arrow slowly takes effect.
Okay. Let's have you roll overcome to kind of get them pushed back and away, and at least get your mother out of their grip. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Sorry, what is that over?
You tell me.
Overcome.
What are you going to roll
Sorry.
with?
I think I'm rolling with Earth again, as I'm doing this as a presence thing. I'm not trying to physically hurt them. And that would be a 7.
That is a 7. So yeah, I think you are going to have to mark a chi because that poison is going through you. But you do push these two back, and they fall back into a fighting stance there. Master Dumpling, Silver Shadow, these mooks, and Shu and Feng displaying a skill you had no idea about, and it seems like they are here for the chef as well.
Shu, Mistress Feng, has professional jealousy taken you so far?
And Feng looks at you with kind of anger, and she says, "There is more to life than dumplings."
What?
There are other matters at play here.
But surely none of them are more important than dumplings. Have you tasted this woman's dumplings?
We are well acquainted. What do you want to do?
Mistress Feng, for the sake of this woman's art, I challenge you. And if I defeat you, you must vow never to molest her again.
And she will turn and she will say, "I accept this gladly." And she will move to face you. And the two of you will close and begin to circle. Black Fox, your brother, sort of trembling, is keeping your mother away from Shu, who you hold great affection for.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
So I'm going to move up next to Arya and put sort of one hand on his back to help support him, and call out, anyone who wants to take any of my family away from me today is going to have to come through me first. So I suggest you just all put down your weapons and we resolve this peacefully.
Let's have you roll. You are stepping in the way of Shu, getting in the way of that. I think I want you to roll inner conflict here.
Sure thing. So just looking at the just trying to decide. It's probably I'm wondering about wood, maybe.
Yeah, patience,
growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's have you roll. And you've got some bonds you can potentially spend if you.
So that's only going to get me a 5, unfortunately. So,
okay. Do you want to stay with the 5, or do you want to burn any bonds for that?
Let's see. Oh, no, actually, that's true, because I was thinking I've only got the because I've got a bond on both Aria and on the liquid metal delegates.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can burn both of those, and that'll take
burn both those bonds.
Yep.
So you burn those to kind of keep yourself steady. Now you have a choice. You can mark chi to stay here, or else you're going to have to kind of fall back away from this.
Sure, I will.
You rolled with wood, so you'll mark wood.
I'll mark wood. Yep.
Okay. So you keep yourself steady, and do that declaration. And she definitely hesitates, like it's you and Arya, and she's not sure what to do here at this point. Let me check in with Tearful, and then I'll come back to Master Dumpling's duel. Arya, what's going on with you? How are you feeling?
I'm all confused. I have no idea what's going on. I'm getting very angry. Why would you take her from us? You say something else is going on here. What's going on here? Tell us.
Do you think are you doing hearts and minds to try and force them to explain themselves?
I'm sorry. I keep on having to flick between the different. Yes, I think I am.
Sure. That seems like your intent is you want to get information here out of this by forcing them to talk.
That's right. Yes, and
okay.
I'm doing it with a passionate display at this point. So I'm going to roll fire.
All right. Let's have you roll.
This is dangerous. And yes, that's very dangerous. I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4.
I rolled snake eyes.
Okay. And I don't think you have enough bonds to burn to take that up, do you?
No, I don't. So I will mark fire, I believe.
So yeah, my hard move is you're going to mark fire, because that poison is coursing through your veins. And even as you do that, as you're shouting out with that sort of forceful presence, you realize that you've dropped to your knees. And Fang from the distance says, "We too were taught by Shark-Fingered Princess, or as you once called her, Ageless Sin. We will get her out of the way, and then once we deal with your father, we will control the martial world."
Do I get to reply to that, or?
Yeah. I'll let you say a few words in response here.
The words are quiet and soft as the poison seeps through him. You do not understand. Warlord Sun Tiger has not defeated my mother for control of the Holy Society. He has not killed her. She controlled her.
Interesting. So I like that. So Master Dumpling, you can tell that this woman is strong. Right? She moves with a grace and a fluidity that makes you nervous. Like she is perhaps above your scale.
Oh, okay. Well,
And it is only then as she is maybe getting ready to engage you that she hears Arya's words and you see her hesitate and briefly give you an opening.
okay. I'm going to take the opening.
Okay. So for this round, she is on your scale.
This is my one chance. And that's a 7.
That is a 7. So you can win. We've got the choices there, or lose, or deadlock.
I mean, I think I win at a cost, and so like I technically win the goal,
Okay.
win the duel. So she is bound by, she is bound by her oath.
Okay.
But it was a dirty blow.
Okay. You do that, and
it was a dirty blow, and I have shamed myself.
Yeah.
Before.
The liquid metal delegates who are witnessing are, clearly shocked at your tactic. As is she. She never expected this from you. I mean, she knew you were a warrior. She knew you were Wulin, but to do this, and she will come crashing to the street. Let's cut back to Black Fox. Black Fox, you see Shu look over at her mother. You see your brother collapsing to the ground. The liquid metal delegates seem uncertain. What do you want to do?
I am going to pull Arya back up,
Okay.
and sort of hold him sort of under the arms, essentially holding him up, and say, "Brother, not yet. You can fight this. You're strong enough. I won't let you go so easily." And I'm going to attempt to comfort and support.
Oh, that's perfect. What do you want to roll with?
I think it's got to be fire.
Okay.
And that's an 11.
Look at that. So Tearful Arya can clear a chi. And you can also clear a chi.
Yep. I think I'm going to clear. I think I'm going to clear my water. I think he's still fairly angry at the minute.
You will see Shu does that Lightfoot leap over to where her mother is, kind of scoops her up, and looks at you, Master T Dumpling, and goes to leave, like rushes to escape. Even as the liquid metal delegates are like uncertain what they should be doing now. And none of you have engaged them, so they will begin to fade back, like the tide is turned for them, and they will retreat back down the street there. Tearful Arya.
Brother, I will reach up my hand and put it on his face. We've been apart too long. We have been like yin and yang, one following order, one following the path of chaos. But my father, and she says that with bitterness, comes here, and he will bring his legions here. And now that he knows our mother lives, he will not make the same mistake twice. He turns to look at the liquid metal delegates. They must stand here now, or all is lost. We cannot overcome them on our own.
Very well.
Strong hesitation there from Black Fox.
I do not trust them, and I do not know that they will follow me. But it is as you say. This is a fight we can probably not win ourselves.
Then help me to my feet, for I know one that has been trained by their leader, one who has been entrusted with their secret style. For I have not been as loyal as I made out.
And let me ask Master T Dumpling, where are you? Are you returning back to speak to the princess, or are you trying to deal with the delegates? What do you think?
I think now that the delegates are backing off, it's like I'm returning to the princess, but I'm ashamed to speak to her.
And she does look down in that way of like not quite wanting to address what the blow that she saw struck. She will say, "Thank you, Master Dumpling. You did not have to do that."
I did.
And she will turn to you, Arya, and you, Fox, and she will say, we must flee if your father is coming."
We cannot flee. If we run now, we will run for the rest of our lives. If we are righteous, if we fight with a righteous cause, then victory will favor us. You are the rightful leader of the Holy Society. And we are your children. We must stand against the man who has dishonored our family, or should we die, we will go to the hell reserved for those who do not honor their family and look to its memory.
And she will say, "Fox, do you feel the same?"
I've been fighting against Sun Tiger for some time now. Regardless of what I do, he will not stop coming for me. Now is as good a time as any will be.
Master Dumpling?
I will do whatever you ask of me.
She will say, "I can no longer fight. Doing so will destroy me. And I will be of no use, so I must call on you three to undertake this battle. You must all work together, or he will crush you in his grip."
Before, I lived for order. I lived to bring order to this world. I never once thought of myself or my family. I merely thought of duty. That duty was misplaced. If I wish to make this a more orderly world and have the earth reflect the heavens, then we will win here. for we are righteous.
And I think I want to cut and hard frame something here. I think we cut and we realize that time has passed because it's daylight out. And I think we see Warlord Sun Tiger, his forces behind them as they come into town. And we see him approaching, coming up to the inn, to the tavern. And I imagine that we see him come in and see you three probably casually eating. Great plate of dumplings in front of you, sort of the steam rising from those.
You know those scenes in martial arts films you get where you get the building with the entire wall of candles that are actually built up around, and
yeah,
I think we're in the outhouse building, and yeah, there's a huge rack of these candles there, and
the tables are set with them in the inn. The waitresses and workers are all gone, so it's just everything centers in this big room, just centers in, and you will see that he has with him Grace and Soul, two of his lieutenants that are behind him, and he looks and he sees you just seated at this table with Black Fox and with Master T Dumpling, who he knows of, right?
Yes, although I'm sure he's never thought of me as a warrior.
Yes, and he will say, "My son, where is Ageless Sin?"
Ageless Sin is dead, Father.
Good. Excellent. And he will turn to you, Black Fox, and he will say, "So this is a day of reckoning for you, Fox."
It looks that way, though truth be told, I think it could go either way.
We shall see. Come here over to me, Arya. Leave those two.
I will stand up. I'm still injured, and there's signs of violence upon my body, and I will walk on my staff forward, and I will kneel before Father. I have killed ageless sin. I have killed ageless sin for you. But I have not killed the shark-fingered princess. Nor will I.
And kind of does this as if to say, okay, wait, what
I
do you mean?
I will go from bowing from the kneeling position to stand up.
Okay. And what do we see in the background, Dumpling, Black Fox?
I think that Black Fox is actually just going to turn away and pour another glass of wine and drink it.
Dumpling?
Master T Dumpling lifts the dumpling with his chopsticks, and he says, "Warlord Sun Tiger, a wise man would prize these dumplings over empires. Will you show yourself to be a wise man?"
And his face goes red. This is a horrible disrespect for him. Speaking to him and comparing what he has done, his act of unifying the Wulin world, to a dumpling, and Black Fox just turning away. And he will say, "Step aside, Arya.
You cannot order me anymore. You have not listened to what I have said. Ageless Sin is dead. I have killed Ageless Sin. Ageless Sin, the master of the Holy Society. I will turn to the 2 lieutenants. You may leave us.
Interesting. So this is tough. So I think what this is there's actually a way to you can duel with words. So I think I actually want to have you roll a duel with them, essentially to force those lieutenants back. They're on your scale.
Okay.
So it'll be a matter of see whether they stay in the fight or go. Does that seem fair?
Yep, that's perfectly fine. So if this is a duel, it has to be my style.
Yes.
So that's fire. So that's a 11.
So what is it that makes them retreat? What is what is that?
I think they look at the injuries on my body, and I think they see the damage that I've taken, and they know that if I had indeed fought such a legendary master as Ageless Sin, it would not be a fight that I could have come away without injury from. And I think the injuries actually convince them.
And they will step back, and I think that everything goes into motion then. That we see, I mean, it is is a 2-story interior here, and I think we do see Warlord Sun Tiger leap and bring his finger strike down in the center of that table that you two are seated at, and shatter that table from the top to the bottom, with wood splinters flying everywhere, and this platter of dumplings lifting up into the air there.
And I jump and I try to catch the dumplings.
Okay. If that's your action, then yes. Tell me what that looks like. Are you catching them out of the air? What is it? What is the martial arts stunt we see here?
I think it's just basic athletics. I mean, I've got my cleaver in one hand, and I'm grabbing the dumplings in my left hand, and I'm going to be holding the dumplings for the rest of the fight, and avoid spilling them.
Perfect. You got that out, and we can see you do this thing with to catch all of the dumplings on one platter. Black Fox.
So yeah, as he comes down and hits table, Black Fox is going to leap up and backwards, and he's actually going to sort of land on top of the banister rail around the upper balcony area of the inn, and he's going to look down and smile at Sun Tiger and say, "You shouldn't have wasted your first shot on the table when you could have gone for me."
Nice. So we are in a conflict situation. Essentially, you need to get him down a couple of scale steps to be able for one of you to actually take him on your level. Who wants to go first? Who wants to be the one to try and do that first step of scale reduction? And have you tell me how you do that?
I'm going to. I'll step up. I'm going to try to make him angry.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do that as hearts and minds.
Okay. I think this is sort of a metal move.
Okay.
Because I'm calculating how to cause him to overreact.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, that's a 12.
So yeah, tell me what it is that you do that just absolutely enrages him.
It's like he's trying to get me out of the way, and I'm dodging him while still holding on to these dumplings.
Yeah,
and
there's probably he's trying to hit the dumplings too to get those.
Right. It's like he's trying to swat a gnat, and the gnat just will not be swatted.
Absolutely, and that will, you can see that rage in his form open up a little there. And then who is next? You can see that first step.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to leap down from the banister, sort of saber outstretched towards him. I'll swing round at him, probably as much of a, that cross between I might be fainting, he dodges it. But I'm going to basically keep spinning around, leaping away, leaping back in, keeping him off his balance. And obviously, because there's more than one of us, it's kind of trying to distract him and keep him moving, whilst the rest of the other two are also able to sort of and
you have a move for this. I don't even think you need to roll, right? You have that come with me.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So
this is something you're practiced at.
Yeah. I think he's distracted.
Yeah, he's angry over here, and he sees you, and you're kind of doing the backing away, and you still have the wine cup in your hand, and again, neither of you seem to be taking him at all seriously. And there's those moments when he reaches out just to try and grab at you, Black Fox, and you're just out of reach for him because you know exactly how this works.
Yeah.
And there is that moment when you see him do that, when everything slows down, when you see that space in his style open up, Arya, and you can go for your strike.
Okay, is he at my level now? Or?
He is at your level.
Okay, I reach over my back. I pull out the arrow that was embedded there. I will drop it down my flute. And
perfect.
And as I blow, the arrow flies, and as it flies, the actual candles lining the hall go out as it goes down the hall, as the wind of its passing actually extinguishes them.
Let's have you roll.
Okay. That would be a 12.
That would be a 12. Where does the arrow sink into him?
I think he's fighting with Black Tiger and
Fox.
Sorry, Black Fox. So I think Black Fox actually gets in a point where the tea set that was on the table, he puts his foot down and he catches the kettle and he slips, and he's there, and General Sun Tiger is standing above him. He's about to take the strike, and all of a sudden, just thunk, and the arrow goes in one side and out the other. And then
we probably see Fox roll to his feet like that wasn't at all. He didn't fall except purely deliberately. And even as the arrow, he looks down and he realizes that was a stratagem that you did, and there's that moment where the dumplings go past him, and he gets that last whiff of the dumplings, and then he will crash to the floor. And your father lies dead.
Is he dead or is he dying? Do we get to have the last?
Yeah, let's do a little epilogue bit. I'm going to start with you on that.
I will stumble over to him. I'm still injured from the fight earlier. I will sit down next to him. You taught me many things. You taught me how to fight. You taught me the meaning of honor. And you taught me how to lie. Mother?
And she will look out from the kitchen.
There's someone here I want you to meet.
And his eyes get wide. It's that strategic drip of blood out the corner of his mouth, and he will choke out his last. Black Fox, let's give you an epilogue moment, a final moment in this, either right now or later. What do we see?
So yeah, I think his final epilogue will just be he walking up beside his mother, sort of placing a hand on her shoulder and one on Arya as they stare down at the general, and he'll just smile.
Absolutely, kind of look down at that. Master Tea Dumpling, you get last word, last epilogue. What do we see for you, either here or in the future?
And I think Tearful Arya says that there is much work to be done to reunify the kingdom, and Black Fox asks me, "Will you join us in this?" And I look at them, and I look at the dumplings on the table, and I look at them. I look at the dumplings, and then I walk towards them.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Stephen. And that's it. That's our session. Got the timing pretty well. Well, we're done with a little over a quarter to go. Thank you guys very much. It always takes a bit to gel and bring everybody's stories in line on these one shots, but I hope that was reasonably satisfying. We got a lot of people out on the table, and we got a lot of dumplings.
Yes,
that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
I have to say that's the most satisfying one-shot story I've ever actually played in.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Good.
A lot of one-shots have a habit of not being very focused, and I think that wrapped up absolutely lovely.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we managed in creation. We managed to create a lot of links between characters, and then they all brought those together.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. It was really really good. Yeah, just everything coming together nicely there. It was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad you guys dug it. I wrote this game because it was the game I wanted to play, and it's the kind of genre I wanted to play. And I appreciate you guys coming along and doing that. And I loved characters. And here's the thing: is all of this comes from you giving me the material.
Right.
It's all from what you created, and all from the connection. So you built the world, and I just kind of gave it a push. So very cool.
Right, and I think it worked well that I had the one comic character, and the other two characters had these very serious, dramatic characters. So that was very true to the spirit of the original source material.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I am going to stop the broadcast.